Welcome to Keto is the Worst, where I believe that if done properly, a low-carb lifestyle is not only healthy, but it is sustainable long-term and not at all restricted. So I know in a few videos ago, I actually said I wouldn't be doing this in front of a camera all that much. This is very different than the videos that you'll see from this channel in the future. I don't plan on talking to a camera. This is actually not the most normal thing for me. See, he can't be trusted. So today I want to talk about the low carb philosophy that I use that has kept me on keto for the past 7 months and has helped me lose the 75 pounds in about 15 months. Nope, it's not true. It's not that it was a bad take, it's just not true. So it's been about a year, give or take a week or two, when I started this, and it's been 75 pounds since the very beginning. So the reason why the title of this video isn't the best keto philosophy out there or the only guide you need to stick on a ketogenic diet is because I am nowhere near qualified to make that statement. But I have found something that has worked for me, and it is something I'm pushing long term. So why mostly keto? When people ask me how did I lose the weight, I usually respond in one of two ways. Well, it's been mostly keto and intermittent fasting with a little bit of working out, or my diet is mostly keto but I come off of it every now and then. So it's about 80 to 90% strict keto, and the other times I just kind of pick and choose what I might want to eat. I've said that so much that that's actually what I wanted to call this channel, mostly keto. But that would have cost me $500 and I'm not that keto. So to best explain my philosophy, I think I have to take it back to towards the beginning, but I don't want to spend all this time talking about me because this channel is how to help you. So I'm going to try to give you some value in what works for me, so maybe it can help you stick to this long term and maybe go through some of the ups and downs that you might experience on this lifestyle. I might go quickly past some stuff that is keto related, like some keto terms, and if you are a beginner you might not know, but it's not too important to the story, and it is something that in future videos I will go into more detail about. So taking it back about a year ago to last August, it took me about 2 to 3 weeks to get fully keto adapted, and I was using the urine strips to test it, and then I bought the Keto Mojo thing. I bought this thing, right? This the blood ketone level tester, and in that first month I had lost 20 pounds through intermittent fasting and through keto. I had started intermittent fasting like a week or two before, cutting out all the carbs, but in that combination it really worked well for me, and by that time I was fully ready to commit. So at that time I was reading the book Keto Clarity and just watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and I was pretty much sticking to the basic high fat, no carb, just take it all away kind of diet, and adding extra fats. So I was doing the MCT oil, which I haven't done for a while now, adding anything that I could to my meals, because at the beginning I was focused on the high fat part. And even so, when I did start, I didn't even really believe in the whole total carbs versus net carbs, because I believe that all carbs are carbs. So I was looking at the total carb number, not subtracting the dietary fiber, and using that as my number. So I was extremely low, very little vegetables, maybe spinach and cabbage, I think, and asparagus, things that were like 4 to 5 total carbs. So in those first, I want to call it 6 weeks, when I did test, my levels were above 3 and even once reached 4.7. And real quick, for people who don't know, anywhere between 0.5 and 1.5 is good for anyone who's trying to do this for just health reasons, right? Regular losing weight or just being into ketosis. Like that 1.5 to 3 range is going to be that therapeutic range, I believe that's called. And then 3 and above is like medical, it's for medical reasons usually, when you are that high. If you've read anything about this, you know that this is very good for diabetics or people with epilepsy, treating children. So that 3+ range is where they try to target, even up to 5 sometimes. But so that's where my numbers were hitting, because that's how strict I was being with my carbs. And at that point I was feeling great. I was feeling energy, and I didn't see a reason to stop, right? The high numbers in themselves were keeping me going. But why did I stop? So it was about about 2-3 months in at that time, and I was going to go tailgating at a Giants game, and the following weekend I was going to go to DR for my cousin's wedding. At that point, I hadn't drank any alcohol. Most of the time when I do start a diet, and I don't think I mentioned this, at the time I was 250, so then I had gone down to 230 at this time. And anytime I start a diet, that is usually one of the first things to go, and I keep it out for the beginning stages. So I had made a decision that because I lost 20-30 pounds at this point and it's going to be back-to-back weekends, I didn't just want to watch other people drink while I watched the game. I decided to drink, right? I did some research, and that's when I was introduced to Truly and all those hard seltzers. And then you can always have just straight liquor, the vodkas, and I think it's clear liquors that are best. So yeah, this whole hard seltzer revolution couldn't have come at a better time for me. I did think I was going to stick to the bunless burgers and just eat the grilled chicken with no sides, no chips, nothing like that. But so I don't know if you know that about alcohol, but sometimes you might get a little less strict with your resolve, and that's what happened. So I started off with those bunless burgers, and I ended up with chicken fingers and fries and potato chips and Heinekens and Coronas, and I just blew it up. So then the very next weekend I was in DR, and it was a resort, so I decided that, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy it. It's my cousin's wedding. I had some pina coladas. I was trying to temper it down here and there from what I ate, but for the most part it was just all out. It was going to be very judgmental about what I did on my vacation, and I didn't want that. I gave it a few days, like a week, and when I tested, I was back at 1.5, which is, like I said before, if you're just trying to maintain ketosis, that's a pretty good range to be in. And that's the first time I realized that being in ketosis and this lifestyle is not a prison sentence. You can actually come off of it, enjoy some things time to time, and still have some of the things that you were depriving yourself of. So that was the first time I was off strict keto. But I did go back into it and meal prep the way that I had been. So a little side note about that, about coming in and out of keto, is that you do have to do that hard work up front, because if you don't, because you're never going to get fully fat adapted, and that's what we all are striving for. So after you've done the hard work for, I would say, like 3 to 6 weeks of just strict keto, or as strict as you can be, then you can start coming off of it and start playing with your range, right? And that's one of the most important things that I want to talk about now, is finding your carb number, which is, when you first start, it's usually going to be 50. They say 50 grams of carbs, that's the cap. But for some people it's lower, some people it's 20 to 30, and for me it's 40 to 70, depending on how much I'm exercising, or kind of just the type of carbs that I'm having. So it kind of ranges depending on what I'm having. So that's what I did. Coming back from that trip, I just started to play around with that carb number, see how high I can actually go with it instead of trying to cut it all out, and then find what my fat number was, or how much fat I could have while staying in ketosis and filling in the gap with protein. So at that point I stopped adding the extra MCTs into whatever I had. I stopped adding like extra butter in the way I was cooking and topping everything with cheese. So I would just get fat from the regular sources, the meat that I was eating, or avocado, chia seeds, almond butter. Like, I wanted to keep it mostly natural. And after a while I realized that I didn't need to be super high fat, right? And my carb number was closer to 60-ish, and even sometimes going up to 80, with me still producing good amount of ketones and having that energy and still feeling good on this diet. So I know that when you start, and a lot of people are going to tell you 75% fat, about 20% protein, and 5% carbs, that should be your macro goals. After this experiment phase that I went through, I realized that I can go pretty much 65 grams of fat and somewhere between 25 to 30 protein, and then whatever that math is of carbs. So let's do that real quick. 65 plus 25 is 90, so about 10% carb is what I was able to do. And eating at 1800 calories, because I was trying to lose weight at that time, is going to give you about 60 grams of carbs. I might show my work over here somewhere, but that's the rough number that comes out to. So I realized that I can be a little looser with this diet, and it didn't have to be that restrictive, which is why I pretty much open every video with those 3 things. It is healthy, it is sustainable long term, and it is not as restrictive as they say. And it's not a prison sentence, right? It's not something that you can't come off of. It's not a forever thing. If you want to enjoy your weekend, or if you have some type of plans, that's why I believe in the rolling diet, I guess you can call it, where you take today and it's based off of what you had the past 3 days and what your next 3 days are going to look like, and that's your week. So if you're going out to drink this weekend, so maybe today you go strict, or if you're just planning on being on the couch watching movies, then maybe you can splurge today, unless of course your movie night just involve a lot of snacking or grazing. Then again, you would want to stay low today on your carb count. And that's just it, right? Finding your balance and not killing yourself over this, not being too obsessed about your numbers. And it is important, I believe, to measure, right? To measure your levels. This is, I believe, like 50 on Amazon, especially early on when you want to know what you can have, what you can't have, and how loose you can be with this, right? Because that's when this gets fun, when you can understand, hey, if I want a slice of pizza, I'm still gonna have it. Or if I want a burger, I don't have to have it bunless because this is the only time I'm gonna have carbs today or this week. So that leads me to my 2 philosophies, right? The idea of this video, mostly keto, what does that mean to me? So usually that means that in my meal prep, I am a strict keto. I cook on Sunday for Monday through Thursday, 4 meals, and that is strict keto. I don't plan on having any carbs throughout my day. So for the most part of this past year, that 5th day, Friday, is a fasting day for me, which I don't eat anything. And then Saturday would be my cheat day, just the day that I don't really need to be that strict. If I want wings, I'll have wings. If I want a pizza, I'll have a pizza. If I want just to take it easy because I don't really feel like having anything, then that's exactly what I'll do. It's just a free day that I get to decide depending on whatever mood that might be. And the second way is using all my net carbs. So you have a number, which mine is 60, and you use it. You use all of it without going over your carb number for the day. So use it. It could be whatever you like. It can be whatever you like, whatever's going to keep you in this diet long term, because no one said you can never have a carb again. It's keeping your carbs low. So if that means a bagel for you, a thin bagel, if it means a piece of toast with your breakfast, if it means having some fries with your dinner, or just not having burgers without the bun, that's up to you. And whatever's going to keep you happy and satisfied, just make sure you know your number and that throughout the day you're not going over it and you're including whatever it is that you want to include. One of the biggest things I tell people is that going low carb is not necessarily going no carb, it's just not having carbs alongside every meal. So let's say you eat 3 times a day, you're not going to have a sandwich for breakfast and then have the side like a wrap for lunch and rice for dinner. You can have one of those things in one of those meals and still be on a low carb diet, and depending on the rest of what you're eating, still be in ketosis. That's pretty much it. Those are the 2 strategies that I have for you. Find your numbers, make sure you're using some type of app to track whatever you're eating. I use My Plate. I know MyFitnessPal is another pretty popular one. And just find your numbers and just find what works for you. And you'll be able to stick to this no problem, because you're not going to be restricting yourself. You're just going to be able to, for 80-90% of the time, be strict keto, and the rest, enjoy life. I think it's the 3rd time I'm saying it in this video, but the reason I started this channel was to show people that this diet is sustainable long term, and it is not at all restrictive. I believe that, and that is why I'm here. I've been there. Weight loss is never linear. In the past year that I did lose 75 pounds, most of that had come in 6 months. Those other 6 months, I actually have a net gain of about 20. There was a weekend that I gained 10 pounds, and some months that I lose 20, some months that I don't lose anything. So it's never going to be perfect. Even if you are perfect, your numbers are never going to be where you really want them to be. So you have to look at this as a long-term commitment and do the things that you know that you can do 2 months, 4 months, a year, 2 years from now, because that's the only way that you aren't going to gain it back. For those of you who don't know, I had lost 50 pounds about 5-6 years ago. Kept it off for a while, but then gained it all back. This is the second time around where I did lose 75 pounds, but I do know I have to commit to long term, and this is what works, and this is why I preach it. That's why I feel this way about a low carb diet and a low carb lifestyle for long-term success. And yeah, I think this is about it. I have my Instagram where I'm posting daily recipes, and I don't know. Yeah, and I have a website. There's very little on the website right now, but if you want to go check it out, it's there, ketostheworst.com. What else? How do I end these? If you're interested in learning, following me on this journey as I dig myself deeper into this hole, you're more than welcome to. And any question that you might have, leave it in the comments below, or you can find me pretty much anywhere at ketostheworst. Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. I'm not sure if people leave comments there. I don't even have anything up there, but I do have the name. And yeah, is that it? So I'm gonna end it this way. I do want to help whoever is watching. At this point, it's probably 4 to 5 people. My parents, my sister. Hi. If by any chance there are more people, and I'm gonna keep saying this, I'm trying to work on an outro. I'm getting better at my intro, so let's try an outro. If you want to get started on a ketogenic diet, on a low carb lifestyle, reach your fitness goals, reach your weight loss goals, if you're looking just for some type of maintenance plan, I'm here to help. I've done this twice and I know how hard it can be. I know for a lot of people, they don't even get to do this once. And there are a lot of pitfalls, there are a lot of stubborn times, like I don't know. I know it can play tricks on you. I know that it's just tough, right? So if I can help anybody through it, that's what I want to do. And that's pretty much it. Forget the whole sarcasm behind keto is the worst. We both know how I feel about it. It changed my life. And if I can help change somebody else's, that'll be more than worth it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon. Don't know when that is, but very soon. See you next time.